Hi, my name is George Cantu, and this is my individual consulting presentation for Liberty University, Psych 847, Organizational Consulting and Change. So, in chapters 16 through 18, Lohman discusses the different steps involved in organizational consulting, from diagnosis and assessment to intervention and evaluation. He stresses the importance of developing a good working relationship with clients and of being able to adapt one's approach to the specific needs of each organization. He focuses on the ethical considerations involved in organizational consulting, including issues such as confidentiality and conflict of interest. Lohman highlights the importance of behaving ethically in all aspects of one's work in order to maintain the trust of clients and colleagues. Finally, Lohman discusses some of the challenges that can be encountered during an organizational consulting engagement. He describes how to deal with clients, employees, and unexpected changes in the organizational climate. By summarizing the key points of these three chapters, Lohman provides readers with a comprehensive guide to organizational consulting. So this is taken from a summary of the text. A leader can improve interpersonal relationships with group members by spending more social time with them, showing concern for their feelings, consulting them, and encouraging them to participate in decisions that concern them. It is easier to maintain control over group members when the task is laid out by the numbers. The methods and procedures are clearly spelled out, and the objectives clearly specified. A leader can increase position power by assuring that all information is channeled through him or her. A comprehensive theory of personality is necessary for organizational consulting activities. A consultant must take into account an organization's historical momentum, limits and resources, adaptive capacity, quality of leadership, and psychological freedom when making recommendations. In some cases, a consultant may need to be more active in charge than what is typical in order to ease a crisis without destabilizing the organization. It is sometimes necessary for a consultant to protect their client from potential threats. The consulting psychologist whose focus on the individual's relationship with the employing organization will note that the proper consultative approach should incorporate priorities with the needs of the managerial position, the team, and the organization. The types of information available to the consultant psychologist consist of goals and needs. So let's take a look at leadership style. 3 articles were evaluated, and the first study, conducted by Gonzalez Cruz et al., examined the role of supervisor leadership style and employee regulatory focus and leadership performance. The authors found that when supervisors adopt a transformational leadership style and employees have a promotion focus, this leads to higher levels of leadership performance. The second study by Mumford et al. Found that cognitive skills are critical for effective leadership. In particular, the authors identified 9 cognitive skills that are essential for leaders. Among them are problem solving, decision making, critical thinking, and creative thinking. Finally, Stridham examined the role of ethical leadership in organizational performance. The author found that when leaders act in an ethical manner, this leads to improved performance among followers. These findings suggest that ethical leadership is an important factor in achieving organizational success. In Module 6, Lohman provides an overview of the theory and practice of organizational consulting psychology. He discusses the various approaches to organizational consulting. He also describes the different settings in which organizational consulting can take place. In Chapter 20, Lohman provides a detailed description of the consultation process, from initial assessment to final evaluation. He also discusses the role of consultants in each stage of the process. Lohman outlines the skills and knowledge necessary for successful organizational consulting. Finally, he offers a case example of an organizational consulting engagement. Lohman's book provides a comprehensive overview of the field of organizational consulting psychology and is essential for anyone interested in the field. So, organizational consultants can use social psychological findings on group research to design approaches that are more effective in bringing about organizational change. Cross-cultural implementation of assessments and instruments is troublesome due to cultural differences in understanding the items, using the method of implementation, and interpreting the results. Future research should address this issue carefully. Social psychologists have studied the consequences of cooperative, interdependent contact as a tool for improving intergroup relations, without much consideration of the outcomes on group performance. Therefore, the moderating effects of group structure, group effectiveness, or group composition on organizational performance still need to be studied further. International organizational consulting involves taking into account the consultant's own cultural identity and biases, as well as the discovery of the client culture's preferences for certain behaviors and emotional climates. Assessment issues in international organizational consulting include multi-method approaches, adapting U.S. tests and questionnaires, cross-cultural equivalence of concepts, and preliminary culture calibration phases. Intervention issues in international organizational consulting highlight the importance of building relationships, applying on action research strategy, and being aware of critical zones such as organization culture, diagnosis, and conflict management resolution models. Bosiba et al. Examines how geopolitical factors can affect international consulting firms. In particular, the author focuses on how knowledge flows between countries can be impacted by geopolitical tensions. They argue that international consulting firms can learn from other countries, even those with whom they have tense relations. As such, these firms can play a role in promoting understanding and cooperation between countries. McCall looks at how international consulting firms can identify future leaders. The author proposes that these firms should look for individuals who have the potential to be effective leaders in a global context. This includes individuals who are culturally aware and have the ability to adapt to different environments. Ultimately, the author argues that international consulting firms have a responsibility to develop future leaders who can operate effectively in an increasingly globalized world. Finally, White offers a glimpse into the future of international consulting psychology. The author envisions a future where international consultants are more actively involved in promoting peace and understanding between cultures. They also envision a future where international consulting firms are more diverse and inclusive, reflecting the increasingly globalized world in which they operate. In chapters 23 to 25, Lohman discusses the role of consultants in organizational change. He begins by discussing the different types of consultants, such as internal or external, and their advantages and disadvantages. He then provides an overview of the steps involved in conducting a successful consultation. Lohman covers a variety of topics related to organizational change, including resistance to change, power dynamics, team dynamics. Throughout these chapters, he provides numerous examples and case studies to illustrate his points. As a result, these chapters provide a valuable resource for anyone that's interested in the field. A consultant's goals during the contracting process is to build an understanding of the work to be performed by integrating perspectives and to obtain a broad-based commitment for the proposed work. Organizations of the future need to develop and nurture a stronger enterprise-wide perspective reflective of their newly formed integration, alliances, and partnerships. Consulting psychologists might provide a variety of assessment and intervention programs to decrease stress. Having employees with healthier lifestyles will have a positive effect on an organization in a number of respects, including increased productivity, decreased absenteeism, decreased turnover, decreased costs associated with recruitment and training, and decreased expenditures for medical services. So let's look at healthcare consulting. Garman and Kainer reflect the past and future of healthcare consulting with a focus on psychology-related services. They note that consulting services have become increasingly specialized in recent years, as the healthcare landscape has become more complex. In particular, they highlight the need for consultants to have deep subject matter expertise in order to be successful. They also point out that the industry is constantly evolving, and that consultants must be prepared to adapt their skill sets as the needs of their clients change. Sang et al. Discussed the role of medical student consulting groups in training the next generation of physician executives. These groups provide students with real-world experience in solving complex healthcare problems. The authors suggest that these groups can play an important role in developing the leadership skills needed to navigate the increasingly complex healthcare landscape. They also note that medical student consulting groups are well positioned to address the challenges faced by healthcare organizations, given their unique perspective. Cash features an interview with Rulon Stacy, Managing Director of Healthcare at Navigant Consulting. In the interview, Stacy discusses some of the challenges faced by healthcare organizations, as well as the role of consultants in helping them to overcome these challenges. He emphasizes the importance of understanding the needs of each individual client and tailoring consulting services accordingly. He also highlights the value of building long-term relationships with clients in order to best support their ever-changing needs. Overall, these articles provide insights into different aspects of healthcare consulting. They highlight the importance of deep subject matter expertise, adaptability, and relationships in this rapidly changing field. In chapters 26 through 29, Lohman provides an overview of organizational consulting psychology. He discusses the history of the field and its roots in psychoanalysis. He then describes the different theoretical approaches that have been used by consultants. Lohman outlines the skills that are necessary for effective consulting, such as problem solving and interviewing. Finally, he discusses the different techniques that are used in organizational consulting. These chapters provide a comprehensive overview of the field of organizational consulting psychology, making them an essential resource for anyone interested in pursuing a career in this area.